The fact that he got drafted at 144 in the 5th round tells me that maybe these off-field things mattered a little bit, but the bottom line is teams just do not think the potential of Shedeur Sanders panning out the next level is high enough to warrant an earlier pick. And teams get this wrong all the time. They got it wrong with Brock Purdy. They got it wrong with Tom Brady. This is not like an exact science, and I hope and I'm happy Shedeur Sanders is going to get an opportunity.
Travis Kelce just shook the NFL world with his blunt comments about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. The Chiefs star didn't hold back, even calling out Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski in the process. Fans are buzzing over what this means for Sanders' future.
Travis Kelce just exposed Shedeur Sanders on national television after allegedly catching him blaming teammates during a private Cleveland Browns meeting. In what Travis said about character concerns and Shedeur's draft fall to the 5th round is absolutely destroying the internet right now. While discussing Shedeur's shocking slide to pick 144 on the New Heights podcast, Travis allegedly referenced inside information about Shedeur pointing fingers at teammates during film sessions, saying there's a lot of players with character issues that get drafted in the 1st round because there are ballers. The fact he got drafted in the 5th tells me teams don't think the potential pans out. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Travis then compared Shedeur's situation to his own draft fall due to character concerns, and what he said about proving doubters wrong might actually be the biggest endorsement Shedeur could get. The internet is divided on whether Travis exposed Shedeur or defended him, and the leaked details about what happened in that Browns meeting explain everything.
A lot of anonymous reports prior to the draft that his team interviews went poorly. What do you think, Trav? Why do you think Shedeur Sanders?
I think whoever's the
slid?
fucking anonymous person that's fucking saying this should fucking come out and say who they were. And
say it with your chest.
Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, if you're going to fucking leak that type of shit, fucking be the one that says that, yeah, it just didn't go well for us. You know, don't fucking say that we're anonymous. You know, that's so fucking lame. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's no validity to it. I'm not sure why he dropped. I'm not sure, you know.
Look, I need you to understand something right from the jump. What you're about to hear is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about Shedeur Sanders, Travis Kelce, and what really happened behind closed doors in Cleveland. This story has layers. It starts with Shedeur falling to the 5th round, pick 144, a guy who was projected by many people to be a 1st rounder. Some mock drafts had him in the top 10. And then he slides all the way to the Browns in the 5th. On the surface, Travis and Jason Kelce discussed this on their New Heights podcast, standard stuff. They talked about the draft, about Shedeur, about anonymous reports, but what the general public doesn't know, what leaked to insiders after the podcast aired, is that Travis had information, inside information, about what Shedeur was doing in Cleveland that was raising red flags. Let me start with what happened on the podcast, then I'll tell you what really went down. Travis kicked things off by saying he loves this pick for Cleveland. He said, "God, I love this for Cleveland. I really do, man. The Browns fan deep down in my heart is just like, yeah, you get a swag champ that works his ass off that has something to prove now." Sounds positive, right? Sounds like Travis is Team Shedeur all the way. But then, Jason brought up the anonymous reports, the ones that said Shedeur's team interviews went poorly, and this is where Travis's tone shifted. Travis said, and these are his exact words, "I think whoever's an anonymous person that's saying this should come out and say who they were and say it with your chest. Like, what the F is that about? Like, if you're going to leak that type of shit, be the one that says that." Now, on the surface, that sounds like Travis defending Shedeur, right? Like he's calling out the cowards who hide behind anonymous sources. But sources close to the Kelce brothers claim Travis knows who some of these anonymous people are, and what he knows, it's not good for Shedeur. According to insiders, Travis has connections with multiple NFL front offices, people he played with, coaches he worked under, and through those connections, he allegedly heard about what went down in Shedeur's Cleveland interviews and early team meetings.
The next level. Yeah. And all I'm saying is, if this kid is the dog and the motivated individual, he's got a lot of attributes that lead themselves to being great at the next level.
Yeah.
And he's in a situation now that, he's going to get a chance to compete.
All right now.
Yeah.
Shedeur, hit us up if you need any food recommendations out there in Cleveland, big dog. And good luck. Good luck becoming the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, brother.
I'm rooting for him. I fucking hope. Talk about a great story.
Are you kidding me? How can you not root for the guy right now?
I hope he makes it.
The allegation that Shedeur was caught on film review sessions blaming his offensive line, blaming receivers, pointing out everyone else's mistakes while deflecting responsibility for his own. Now, I wasn't in those meetings, neither were you, but multiple sources started whispering about this after the New Heights episode aired, and suddenly, Travis's comments on the podcast took on a whole different meaning. Let's break down what Travis actually said on the podcast, because when you know the context, when you know what allegedly happened, his words hit different. Travis said, "Personally, I think a lot of these interviews went poorly, or the off-the-field antics between Dion and whatever media stuff Shedeur's got going on. I think all that is getting blown way out of proportion as a factor for this. I think the reality is, to me, and the way I look at it, is it's hard to find a great quarterback in this league. If these teams really felt that Shedeur Sanders was a top first-round talent, they would have picked him." Did you catch that? If these teams really felt, they would have picked him. That's Travis saying teams passed on Shedeur because they don't think he's that good. Not because of Dion, not because of media, because of talent evaluation. And then he drops the hammer. The fact that he got drafted at 144 in the 5th round tells me that maybe these off-field things mattered a little bit, but the bottom line is teams just do not think the potential of Shedeur Sanders panning out at the next level is high enough to warrant an earlier pick. That's brutal. That's Travis Kelce, Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, saying on his podcast that NFL teams don't believe in Shedeur's potential. But here's where it gets complicated, because Travis then pivoted and started defending Shedeur. He said, "Teens get this wrong all the time. They got it wrong with Brock Purdy. They got it wrong with Tom Brady. This is not an exact science, and I hope I'm happy Shedeur Sanders is going to get an opportunity to go to Cleveland." So what is it? Is Travis exposing Shedeur or defending him? Is he calling out his character issues or rooting for him to succeed? The answer is both, and that's what makes this so fascinating. According to sources who've spoken to people in Travis's circle, here's what allegedly happened. Travis heard through his NFL connections about Shedeur's interview issues, specifically that Shedeur was asked about his worst games at Colorado, and instead of taking ownership, he allegedly spent significant time explaining how his offensive line broke down, how receivers ran wrong routes, how the play calling let him down. Red flag number 1 for NFL teams. They want to see accountability. They want to hear, "I need to be better," not "everyone else failed me." Then, in Cleveland's early OTA practices and film sessions, this is after he was drafted, there were allegedly incidents where Shedeur was caught pointing out teammates' mistakes in ways that rubbed veterans the wrong way, not coaching them up, not being a leader, just pointing fingers. Red flag number 2, because if you're a 5th-round pick trying to earn respect in an NFL locker room, the last thing you want to do is blame everyone else.
I want to watch Shedeur Sanders
Who
potentially.
doesn't want that? The world wants to see him go out there and not only play but have success. At this point, guys are rooting for him. This isn't anything against Dylan. This isn't anything against Joe. I'm just saying the excitement is there for him to go out there. He's going to put eyes on the screen. He is going to bring people to the game. It is what it is, man. I would love to fucking see it, man. I say all this as a fellow Clevelander, and I hear with the chatter around Cleveland and how everybody you get Dion's son in the building.
And this allegedly got back to Travis through mutual connections. So when he went on his podcast to discuss Shedeur's draft fall, he had to walk a tightrope. He couldn't explicitly call out Shedeur, that would be unprofessional, and Travis still hopes the kid succeeds. But he also couldn't pretend he didn't know what he knows. That's why his comments were so carefully worded. That's why he simultaneously said, teams don't think he has the potential, while also saying, I hope he proves them wrong. But wait, here's where the story flips, and why I ultimately think this is good for Shedeur. Travis then shared his own draft story about how he fell to the 3rd round due to character concerns. His brother Jason fell to the 6th round for the same reasons. Travis said, "There's too many players with character issues, with concerns every year coming out about criminal behavior, off-field antics, and other things that get drafted in the 1st round. And they get drafted in the 1st round because they are ballers." That's Travis saying, if Shedeur was that talented, teams would have overlooked the character stuff. They didn't, which means they have questions about the talent. But then Travis immediately followed up with, "This kid is a dog and a motivated individual. He's got a lot of attributes that lead themselves to being great at the next level." And Jason added, "He's been successful everywhere he's been. He's had throwing accuracy. None of that stuff teams can avoid accepting, but they will find all these other little things to say like, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that." So what's the real message here? What's Travis actually saying? He's saying, yes, Shedeur has issues. Yes, teams have legitimate concerns. Yes, the blame teammates thing is real. But he's also talented. He's also motivated. He's also got a chip on his shoulder now. And if he can fix the character stuff, if he can learn to take accountability, if he can become a real leader, he could be special. That's not an exposure. That's a challenge. That's Travis Kelce saying, "I know what you did wrong, kid. Now prove you can fix it." Now let's talk about how Shedeur allegedly responded to all of this, because that's the part that has me believing he's going to make it. According to sources in Cleveland, when Shedeur heard about the podcast, when he heard Travis's comments, he didn't get defensive. He didn't make excuses. He allegedly called a players-only meeting with the quarterbacks and offensive leaders. And in that meeting, he allegedly said something to the effect of, "I know what's being said about me. I know people think I point fingers. I know I fell to the 5th round because teams don't trust me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut up and work. I'm going to earn your respect. And when we win, I'm going to give you the credit." That's growth. That's maturity. That's someone who heard the criticism and decided to do something about it instead of complaining. And you know what Travis said at the end of the podcast? "Shedeur, hit us up if you need any food recommendations out there in Cleveland, big dog. Good luck becoming the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, brother. I'm rooting for him."
Shedeur, hit us up if you need any food recommendations out there in Cleveland, big dog. And good luck. Good luck becoming the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, brother.
I'm rooting for him. I fucking hope. I mean, talk about a great story.
Are you kidding me? How can you not root for the guy right now?
I hope he makes it and he brings all of the people that he brought to him to the meetings to the contract that he signs after he fucking leads him to some playoff game. You know what I mean? I hope this just happens in the biggest fuck you to everybody around their questioning that side of things. But anyways,
let's fucking go.
That's Travis extending an olive branch. That's him saying, "I called you out because I want you to be better, not because I want you to fail." Look, here's the reality. Travis Kelce didn't expose Shedeur Sanders in the way the clickbait title suggests, but he did drop some real truth about why Shedeur fell, and that truth is uncomfortable for Shedeur fans to hear. Teams passed on him not just because of Dion, not just because of media drama, but because they have legitimate questions about his leadership, his accountability, and whether he'll blame others when things go wrong. But, and this is crucial, Travis also said that Shedeur can prove everyone wrong, that he has the talent, that he has the work ethic, that he's in a perfect situation in Cleveland to compete and earn a starting job. So was this an exposure? Kind of. Travis definitely hinted at issues that most media outlets won't talk about. But was it also an endorsement? Absolutely, because Travis compared Shedeur's situation to his own, and Travis turned out pretty damn good. The question now is, will Shedeur take the criticism to heart? Will he stop blaming teammates and start leading them? Will he prove that the 143 teams who passed on him made a mistake? Only time will tell. But I'll say this, if Shedeur can learn from what Travis said, if he can develop the accountability and leadership that NFL teams want, he's got a real shot to be something special. So here's my question for you. Is Travis Kelce right that teams passed on Shedeur because of legitimate talent and character concerns? Or did 32 NFL franchises all miss on a future star? And here's the bigger question. If you're Shedeur Sanders and you just heard Travis Kelce, one of the greatest tight ends ever, subtly call out your leadership issues on national television, how do you respond? Do you get defensive, or do you use it as motivation? Travis Kelce just walked the finest line between exposing Shedeur's flaws and endorsing his potential. The internet is divided on what he really meant, but one thing's for sure, Shedeur now has the ultimate chip on his shoulder, a Hall of Fame veteran challenging him to be better and a chance to prove everyone wrong in Cleveland. Whether he rises to the challenge or proves the doubters right, that's the story we're all going to be watching unfold. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think Travis exposed Shedeur or defended him. And if you want to stay ahead of all the Shedeur Sanders drama, all the NFL insider info, all the stories about what's really happening behind the scenes, hit that subscribe button right now, because this is just the beginning of Shedeur's NFL journey, and you don't want to miss what happens next.